Can you hear me? Test.
There's Jerry.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, it's Diane Lilli here. Are you hearing me?
I can hear you, but I don't know.
Can you see me?
I can only see Jerry, and I've never been on before. This is Kelly from Alaska.
Oh, Alaska. I want to go to Alaska. Please let me visit you. I need to come.
Up. Absolutely.
All right, let's see. We have our audio working. What about the video? Jerry, can you see us? I don't think he can see us.
I've got options here. View everyone who's talking, view everyone. And I only have Jerry. Can you see me? I'm wearing a purple shirt.
No, I can't see you. All right, let's see. Webcam. Share my webcam. Press share your webcam. There I am.
Hey, there you go.
Press share your webcam.
I just see hide all webcams. Oh, maybe there's options.
Yeah, click on hide. It'll go to share. Hi, Jerry.
Okay. And it shows me.
I don't hear you, Jerry. Hold on.
Dr. David.
There you are. No. View everyone. Press view everyone.
I have that one already. Yep. And I can see you too, but I can't see myself. Can you see me?
No. Go to the oh shoot, I lost you completely. Oh.
I can see you guys too, but I can't see myself.
No, I can't see you. You know, all this stuff is crazy.
Here, I'm going to raise my hand. Can you see that?
Where is everybody? I'm going to launch GoWebinar again. Hold on. There I am again.
Yeah, I can see you and it's calling you Jerry, and I can see Jerry and Jerry has Dr. Dimi Kostopoulos' name.
Chris Kostopoulos. Hi, Jerry. Jerry, can you hear us? Nod.
Can you hear us?
We can't hear you, Jerry.
No. We can't hear you.
I think he needs to unmute himself.
He might need to unmute. I'm going to text Jerry.
11:30, 4:30.
No, I don't hear you. The mysterious man, I don't hear you. I mean,
Okay.
Say it again.
11:30, 8:30 a.m., 11:30, 4:30.
On what day?
Kelly Chica.
7.
Can you see me now?
Nope.
7.
There's 6 people here.
This is my first time actually being able to clock in because I'm on the East Coast right now, and it's usually
well, we're trying. We can't hear Jerry.
Between every appointment, so 11:30 or 8:30, 11:30, 4:30.
On March 7th.
Yep. On the 6th, we have everything there at 3 p.m. open, but John wanted time to go.
No, I know. I need to go over stuff. Yep.
Maybe change presenter. Should we do that?
No, don't do that.
No.
My husband's saying don't do that, but I have no idea. We haven't been on either.
Oh, there we go. How's that?
Yay!
Much better?
Wait, I don't see him anymore. Where is he?
No, I'm back here again. Well, good evening, everybody.
Hi, but I lost you.
I can't hear you or see you.
Good evening, Jerry.
Why can't I see you anymore?
I'm not sure here, but let's see here. We've got Asea, but I'm not sure if you know that this is going to be more of a marketing and business venue tonight. So if you're here for the clinical side of it, we're not doing clinical tonight. Hey, Doctor, let's see, the SVJ. Welcome.
Jerry, I lost you. It's Diane. I was on with everybody, but now you can't see me because you're talking. It's weird. But I am here. Hi.
Oh, I can see you.
You can? I
can
can't
see
see
you.
you. Okay, I'll just wave.
There you go.
This is Vijay Kumar. Hi.
Hello, welcome to our seminar tonight. It's going to be going over more business marketing and a little bit of billings, and then also just look at questions that people might have. Jennifer, you came in looking for information about the billing side, or is there other areas that you're interested in?
Pretty much clinical side.
Okay, clinical side. We're not doing clinical side tonight. I had sent out an email a bit late. I apologize.
Okay.
About once a month, I get on and get into more of the business side of things.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to skip this, that'd be fine, because we're just going to be doing business. We're not doing any clinical.
So I'll just listen. If it's not appropriate, then I'll
Okay.
leave.
Well, good enough.
Okay.
So good evening, everybody. Let's get going on things. We're pretty much along already with respect to the timing. So my position is, some of us who might, almost everyone I think know, but maybe SVJ. I call you SVJ. What is your first name?
Vijay Kumar. Just call me Kumar. That's okay.
Okay, Kumar. I work with all the franchise owners with respect, and the business people that work for them, to help them build the practice.
Okay.
So what I wanted to start off was to introduce Diane. She's one of our newest employees. She's going to be working in the marketing area. She's going to be not only helping to market HODS to get more people, more partners coming in, but she's also going to help us with helping the partners market themselves and help us develop some tools and make things, available, so that we can get you guys expanding further with your marketing, with respect to getting referrals and with respect to getting doctors' offices to have you come into. Okay, so that's what Diane's going to be doing on our behalf, and I wanted to introduce her tonight, so you guys knew when you saw the name, this is who the person is.
Yes, nice to meet everybody.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Ganesh. How are you? Let me unmute you here.
Hey, Jerry, how are you?
Good. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So we're going to be doing strictly business tonight, because I'm not clinical. I don't even know a lot of the terminology of it, but it'd be dangerous if I started using all that verbiage. But I wanted to get into some things about marketing, some of the things you guys might know about, and other things that are, that might be new. But also a little bit of review, because I still had people, even though I've done presentations about where things are located, I still get people contacting me to find out where various brochures are and things, various tools and such. Right now, we have primarily is promotional material that can be used to, number one, promote your practice within the practice, that is, to your existing patients, and then to previous patients. And then there's the next step is getting into doctors in front of their faces to get them to start referring you patients. Okay. And then lastly, as the partners feel, or the testing people feel comfortable with it, start going into doctors' offices to test within the doctors' offices. Okay. Those are the sort of the sequence that most everyone will be going through as they expand. So right now, I'm going to actually take a look, have you see a bit of my screen. I just got to find out where it is, because I got so many things open at this time. And show you guys where, I'm going to show you my screen and show you where where everything is residing at this point. We're going to be expanding the marketing area quite a bit as service for the owners. We're going to have a marketing course later on this year, which will be something that one would come to in New York. It'll be like a 2-day course. It's going to not only include going over verbiage of what to say and what not to say, but it's also going to go into handling objections that doctors might come up with. the little curves they throw you and how to handle that and how to not sound like a salesperson. Unfortunately, most people have a tendency to they have a lot, go into a doctor's office, have an awful lot of information to give and start downloading it. So these are one of the things that we're going to, try to handle. Kumar, you have your hand raised? I don't know if I had unmuted you, but right now it says that you're self-muted. So
Yeah. So
there you go. Did you have a question?
no.
Okay, fair enough. So, and then see, everybody else is self-muted, it looks like, except for Jennifer. I don't know if Jennifer, you're still there or not. So anyway, going into the HODS.us website, we will be redoing this to make it even more comprehensive. And I'll give you an idea of where we're going with this. But for right now, if we wanted to find the promo pieces we have, when we go up to manuals, come down to PR and marketing, cross over here to the Division 6 area, which is that part of the organization that does a lot of promotion for expansion. And we've got Section 1, 2, and 3. Section 1 and 2 is for in-house marketing tools. Section 3 and 4 is for outside marketing. Okay, so on the area that I wanted to go over. Oh, and Diane, if you need to take off, feel free to take off.
But I've been playing around in here and I have ideas on what to add for sections. Okay?
Great.
We'll talk about it. All right, bye everybody. I'm working hard for you. You'll meet me soon more, okay?
Thank you, Diane.
Great.
Nice meeting you.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks, Diane, for coming by.
Bye.
So,
Thanks, Diane.
For one thing, by the way, is we've got these various pieces here. This goes into the in-house marketing approach. And let's see what comes up for that. This gives you some idea of different approaches that you can have, developing websites, setting up posters, display information. This is sort of an overview of everything. But there's a lot of these tools. One is incentivizing therapists, educating all therapists about the type of tests they're done and how it's going to benefit everybody. Getting the front desk so that everybody gets the assessment tool and getting them understanding a bit of what this is all about and what's the benefit it is to the patients. As much as everybody's on board, as you know, with your physical therapy practice, as much as everybody's on board and excited about everything, then the patients pick up on this and it starts creating a synergism. So you'll see a lot of the brochures and such will go into symptoms, because here we're talking about not so much for doctors, but for brochures. Okay, we go back to here, on the manuals. You've got the assessment screening tool. There's a script for the front desk, what to say, whether it's a new patient, whether it's an existing patient. Frequently asked questions about EMGs. There's a therapist info sheet, various types of tests, and do therapists know the value of testing? This is all, of course, to get your staff on board more and more with information. There are some reports that we have, the results of research that we've done that showed, for example, that 65% of all patients that receive a diagnostic test in conjunction with their eval, that the practitioner found that they had to modify the modality or the treatment plan based on the results of the diagnostic test. So the diagnostic test actually gave more information than they normally had and allowed them to get a better treatment plan for the patient and therefore get faster results. Okay, that was done by our company. We did the research. It was about 62% is what we found of the people who had gotten diagnostic testing. 62% of them had their treatment plan changed. And then there was another group, I think it was a group of radiologists, totally unbeknownst to us, did the same type of research and came up with 60%, almost exactly what we had. and such. So there is, quite an advantage there, and it's something that people need to learn about. Now we get into section 2, which gets into things like musculoskeletal brochures. There's a bifold that you could give to patients to explain to them what to use, what this is all about, why they're going to get it. There's a poster for MSK. There's a flip chart. This came from the manufacturer of the ultrasounds, and you could use that when you're explaining things to a patient. On the EMG side of it, there's brochures, both a bifold and a trifold, to explain to patients what the advantages are. These would also be used in a doctor's office to pass on to the patient who's being referred to you, for example. Then there's the EMG poster, and then there's partner pads. These are basically an extension of the screening questionnaire, okay, set up as a pad so that we could check off what the patient has and what needs to be done, and then send that along. This would also be used with doctors. You can put it in doctors' offices, and it will also help educate the doctor as to what things to look for that would warrant needing an EMG or an ultrasound. Because what we've noticed over the years, and this is from talking with all of our partners who have done lots of different levels of marketing, is a lot of doctors are not that conversant with these diagnostic tools that we use. They may have learned a little bit about it. They may have done an hour or two of joint ultrasound. They might have done maybe an hour or two of EMG, and that's about it. So they don't have a great deal of knowledge. And of course, some of these doctors are maybe in their higher age brackets, and it's been a long time since they've been involved in it. So the pads will help them nudge them to get an idea of when and why to send a patient to you guys for testing. Division 6, section 3 gets into outside marketing. There's 2 approaches here that DME has used. One of them is using a survey cover letter, survey questionnaire to put into the doctor's office. There's a video under videos to explain how to deliver it and how to pick it up later after it's been filled out. There's also a questionnaire letter that you could use either with or instead of the survey, depending on which way you want to go, should you want to leave things off at a doctor's office. Okay. Other things our partners have found to be very helpful has been to do a ultrasound demo to the doctor. And even as some guys, they had a big doctor's office where was 5 or 6 or 7 doctors, and most of them showed up for the presentation because it was something new and different. And then our guy who was in there with his ultrasound machine was able to do some of the doctors, their various joints, wherever they have pains, and show them their pain. That's a phrase that Bart had come up with that he's used very well. Is for people, for the raw public, for direct access, is come in, we'll show you your pain. And they use the ultrasound, of course, to show what's causing it. So on the marketing approach here, there's 5 steps that DME had wrote out here. There's the scheduling the meetings, the finalization agreement, and establishing the office. So once they say if this is when you're going into the doctor's office to test, you need to set things up so that when you show up, it all runs very smooth. And that is they have everybody lined up, and you have the right space, and everybody knows that you're coming, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a write-up on this in even more detail under manuals, personnel. Okay. Getting down into section 4, we get into various brochures. Now, one that's missing that Diane is going to create for us in the next week or 2 is a brochure for doctors to promote the referral service where they refer patients in. Right now, we just have the doctor one, which talks about the business aspect, but not the referral aspect of it. So, by the way, if anyone has any questions as I'm going along, feel free to jump in with them. Okay. So we have here the MSK brochure, both a bifold, and then there's the MSK HODS partner poster. You could put posters up in doctors' offices too, with their permission, of course. There's the doctor bifold in there for promoting to doctors. That's when you're looking to go into their practice. And then there's the EMG brochure, which is in a bifold and trifold and so on. You see all the way down here. There's a Sonosite that has the flip chart. Okay, so these are most of what we have in tools. What we're missing, and that's what Diane and I am going to be working on creating, is going to be videos that are testimonials, writing up various successful activities that people have had, written testimonials as we get partners. And if any of you guys could even start that and push it, is you get patients who are very excited about the results they got and make comments, even if they're not willing to write something. If you could just ask them, hey, can I quote you? And then just jot it down, type it up real quick, and you can use it. And then, if you would, send it up to us, and we'll post it on their website and start getting a library for all the marketing people to use of testimonials, referrals, both doctor testimonials and patient testimonials. Anything that's positive. The doctor says, "Wow, you guys are quick," or "Hey, the reports are great, thank you very much," or "Hey, you really handled that patient well." Just little things like that are going to help you with the next doctor you talk to with marketing. And if we can post it here, it'll help everybody. Can you imagine we have a synergist? We had the synergism that would be created if we had a library of things that you could use for testimonials. Every time you put out a newsletter, which has been a very successful technique. Example, Nate up in Alaska has been using almost solely putting out newsletters. And every time he stops, his testing stats go down a little bit. Every time he puts out another mailing, his stats go right back up. And this is mostly to direct access. But it's just the newsletter brings in a little bit of information and such. I have a sample of what he put together. If anybody's interested in it, let me know. So initially, this is what we have. But other aspects that we're going to be getting into is elements, if I could call them that you could use to create websites. We're setting up right now with a website designer to create a quote-unquote standard HODS page that you could add to your website or a complete website. And we're working to get a really good deal with this person who has done some work for us before, and he's going to be creating an example of one page that you could add that would promote diagnostics. For example, if you have just that on your front page and you have the word diagnostics, you want to be able to have them take it to a page that gives them a lot more information. That's what you could use here. Others are creating their own website, diagnostic website, because the viewpoint here is we want you to have two separate businesses. You've got your physical therapy practice and you've got your diagnostic business, and they should be separate companies, separate businesses. Initially, maybe this all under the same financial umbrella or company umbrella, but after a while, it might be worthwhile to set up as a separate company for a number of different reasons. But whatever it is you want to promote yourself as a diagnostician and not mention physical therapy per se, because you might have a doctor you're going to go talk to who has physical therapists working for him, has maybe a whole group under his area, or part of the group that he's with has got physical therapists, sections, departments in it. And you don't want to be seen as a competitor who maybe could steal their physical therapy patients. So you want to be able to come in as a diagnostician. Okay. That said, Bart in Idaho is currently promoting to one doctor who's part of a rather large group, and it's coming off very nicely, is that he's going to come in as a physical therapist and do evals for the doctor's patients that might need physical therapy. And he's also going to do an ultrasound and get a fee for service for doing that. And it's not very much. He's just asking like $150 per hour. And he could do maybe 2 patients. He's going in with 1 assistant. So he could do maybe 2 patients, like an eval and a MSK right there in the doctor's office. But the advantage he's seeing is that he's going to get 100% of the physical therapy patients out of that. The ones that need physical therapy, he'll get 100% of that. And then he'll also get to do the follow-up diagnostics. And if they need an EMG when they come to his office, he could do the EMG for them. So there's a lot of second level that he's going to get, benefits for this, to get every potential physical therapy patient that this practice has. I understand it's a very large practice. So there's a number of different ways of cutting it, and other people are coming up with different abilities, various things they're trying and such, and I'm working to collect those and then have a place on the HODS thing where, marketing people can go in and pick out elements for their webinar, their web page or their website. They could pick up elements for any kind of newsletters they're trying to put together, whatever it is that, they'll have it here to pull from. Other things are going to be articles, clinical articles, and these could be for patients and they could be for doctors. So I'll be dividing it up into 4 doctors and 4 patients and dividing it up there. Okay, I'm going to take a break here just to see where everybody's at and see if anybody's still there. I see Jeff, you're there. Good night. Good evening. Any questions anybody have so far from what I'm covering?
Not really, Jerry.
I just want to know if you can see me.
I actually can't see anybody but myself, so I know that I'm there. Is it Kelly? Jeff,
Yeah.
I just unmuted you.
No,
thank you. Okay. Can I ask an unrelated question?
Certainly.
It's an easy one.
Good. I like the easy ones. I look better that way.
You and I talked about the billing codes for a doctor I presented for today and the TC modifier for EMGs. But I noticed Medicare lists a possible TC modifier for the nerve conduction velocity tests as well. Does that not apply?
Let me do a quick check. See what I have on that. No, that's fine.
This is Kelly. I'm not
Medicare,
familiar with that modifier yet. It might be a new thing. Is it new?
This is for Medicare. Primarily, we're talking about on Medicare. For straight Medicare, the TC is only used for the 95886. It's not used for the nerves, which is the nerve conduction part of it.
So I saw that in the note, but I can't understand why they list prices for it if it's not used.
The only thing I could think of is the fact that the EMG being invasive, and that's why maybe the Medicare will only pay the technical component until you're board certified. Remember, if you take a look at the
right
thing with Medicare, they will pay the full amount if you're board certified, but otherwise they just pay the technical component.
Right, right. But I know as I look at their fee schedule and see the technical component price listed for the nerve conduction as well, I'm wondering why they would have a price listed on their fee schedule if we don't indeed have to use it as non-board certified people.
Sure. Excellent question. I just don't have an answer for that.
Okay, but as far as you know, we really don't have to use the TC modifier for nerve conduction, even though we're not board certified yet.
Right, because it's not invasive. It's the invasive thing that everybody is worried about, which is the EMG, and that's why they only do the technical component for EMGs.
Okay, good enough for me. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So I've seen the wording for Medicare, and that's the main concern is the EMG part of it, not the nerve conduction stuff.
Okay. And hey, I am awaiting from Bart McDonald like a return on investment illustration and a doctor proposal that I'm going to use to do the the MSKUS and PT eval and treat bunches that you were talking about with the docs. No one else listening has that, do they? Because I haven't been able to get it from him yet.
No, I'll see if I can get it out of him or get a commitment from when we can get it. I'm sure he's just been real busy running around.
Yep, I think that's it. And I hate to bug him too much. I'm just eager to get it because I've got a doc waiting on it.
Sure. I'll see what I can get on it. Jennifer, you don't have voice on yours because yours is unmuted, but you can't talk. So your question is a TC component approval based upon state law? My understanding is it's the Medicare's statement is the fact that when you're board certified for EMGs, then they'll pay the full thing. Otherwise, they'll just do the technical component until you're board certified. If you did it underneath a doctor, then of course the doctor gets paid the full amount. Okay, so you were denied when billing TC components. Okay. Jennifer, I guess why don't we get into a separate communication on it, because I'd like to see the EOB that you have on it and see where it's at and see what the next step would be on it. Okay. What I'll do, Jennifer, is I'll send you a link to my calendar. Maybe we could set a time we could talk. Okay.
Can I ask another?
Sure.
I've got old billing that doesn't seem to have been done correctly from over a year ago. As I try to correct that, do you know if Medicare will, cite you for untimely billing and be unwilling to pay at some point?
I don't really know how long they will wait till they go ahead and give you the, where it cuts off. My first guess is it's like 12 months, but I'm not sure. Jennifer, do you know how long Medicare will go before they'll go to life? What was that?
I think that's true. I was dealing with some Medicare stuff this last year because I had to go through a reauthorization application, validation fiasco. And that was the concern, is if it went over 11 or 12 months, I'm not sure of which one it was, then I would be past timely filing. So,
right.
So you've got to get
I'm pretty sure it's 12 months. I'm pretty sure it's 12 months. I have another.
Right. Yeah, and then if you get it in, then maybe they can process it. But if you don't get it in that time, then God knows how long they'll hold on to it. I was worried that they would kick it out because it hadn't been paid in a year, rather than the other.
Sure.
But
I have one of our partners who is setting up a separate company for the diagnostics, and it's taken him forever. He's now going through the Medicare approval thing on it, but his thing was 12 months. So as he's getting to the 12-month point on some of these, he's having to submit it with the old company because he can't wait any longer for the new company to come into existence and then do the billing on that. So I believe it's 12 months, Jeff.
Okay. And as I make this arrangement with a new doctor to do it out of his office, is there any instruction I need to give his billing company to be prepared to do this? I've got the codes, obviously. Do they need to do anything
Right.
else to be an approved provider for this service or something?
No, my understanding is that doctors have got a free rein with this. It's considered, that it's part of their repertoire. They can do it. There are some exceptions here and there. I think Washington has got it a little bit different, where a doctor actually there's only certain doctors that can do it. Not every doctor, unless they have been trained in it. Like a neurologist would be able to do it, but not a regular primary care doctor. So some states are different. For the most part, I have not heard of anyone having problems. They just bill it and they get the full amount. They don't have to do, for example, the 97750 for the ultrasound. They would just bill the standard 881 or 882.
Yeah.
And stuff, and get paid in full.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So they don't have to go through the hoops. The reason why we have the hoops is because we're sort of breaking into new ground with respect to diagnostic testing, physical therapists doing that. And because it's new ground for a lot of people, a lot of companies and stuff like that, we have to go through these and show them that it is legit and legal, and they need to then therefore pay.
So are other people like me having, extremely delayed billing and having to perhaps submit something to Medicare or do something else to get paid?
It's just what's in our billing course.
Yeah.
That's primarily what it is. It's what's in the billing course is what has worked for everybody.
Okay. But I'm sorry, I forgot your name, the other person on the call here. Have you had billing lately delayed? Oh, Kelly. Yeah, I'm sorry.
We haven't
Kelly
billed
just
yet,
started with
so
us.
I'm just getting started. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still trying to
Yeah,
figure
Kelly-
out my pricing and all that kind of stuff. I'm in communication with my main insurance carrier that I'm setting my prices off of because I'm a preferred provider. But yeah, I'm trying to customize it and then I want to launch it. So I'm about 2 months in to testing. We'd started in the beginning of either December or January, so maybe 3 months.
Okay. Well, Jerry, are you hearing what an average turnaround time is through Medicare for people submitting?
Well, I mean,
Get paid?
in terms of physical therapy, I mean, it's the same. I mean, I don't know that it would be any different than,
Nope.
that typical time frame.
Right. It's no different. Just the benefit we see it initially of getting your profile, getting things added to your profile, your certificates and everything, so that.
Yep, we're doing that. Yep.
Yeah.
If you take a class, send it into all your insurance companies so that they know that you've got training.
Oh, really? Send the certificate into them?
Yep.
Yeah. Add it to your profile.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
With the insurance companies. And then what we were told when my admin exec did that was just, allow for about 30 days before that was, in. But, I mean, all I can say is dealing with insurance companies is that, they still have an old address of mine that it's been, probably 7 years since I lived at it, and we've updated it multiple times. So I have no idea, what this is going to look like for anything that we do,
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is, you just got to be on it, and go about it, mindfully and have tracking logs and make sure that, you've got a system that you're going to use to keep track of what went out and that it came back and how that worked.
Yeah.
That's kind of the best way I've found is that we're going to go about this is really self-advocate and appeal and put that into place. We're going to be the ones fighting for it probably in the beginning, depending on our area or how used they are to us doing this stuff.
So has anyone
Right.
heard anything else about anything else you might send to an insurance company other than your certificates of completion of these courses?
No, Jeff, if when you have a chance, if you might go through the billing course, it goes through all the details in that of what to send, what not to send, and such.
Okay.
It's not dramatically different than your normal billing, other than the fact of how to handle denials, and what steps to do on it. Now, in the billing course, there's two spreadsheets. One of them is for keeping track of everything that's been billed diagnostically, and the second one is for anything that's going into denial. It takes you step by step through there to keep track of everything that's going through the denial process. Those two spreadsheets are very comprehensive and would give you a snapshot of exactly where everything is at every time. And you wouldn't have to worry about it getting lost in an EMR system or something of that nature.
Gotcha. Okay, my office manager should have gone through that. Is there a way I can confirm whether or not a person has gone through it? Will it show a record of it somewhere?
Yeah, I have it, and I can pull it up and look at it. If you send me her email address, and I'll check to see what's been done of the course, because it keeps track of it and such, and let you know.
Great, thank you, sir.
Certainly. Good enough. Anybody else? Any other questions coming? Nope. Okay. These are the key things I wanted to go over tonight, was about where things are at and where we're going with respect to the marketing, and that we're expanding it quite a bit this year. This is like the year of marketing. We feel that everyone's got to be able to do it. It's going to have to market yourself to get, just like you did with, when you were developing your physical therapy practice, and to keep it going. The main thing, though, is that I look for is, besides setting up things for even Facebook, Diane's going to be putting together items, calendars, a variety of different materials that you could use for Facebook, for example, to help promote it. Another thing I might mention is, when you're doing a promotional piece or putting out the fact that you're doing diagnostics, you want to do that at least 3 times, not just once. Okay? So if you're sending out let's say a newsletter to all the time, and you do mention that you're doing diagnostics, you want to do that like 3 times, so it really can penetrate with people. You'll get a lot better results than just doing it 1 time. Okay? In fact, if you want to take a look at results, if you had 1,000 names but had only a budget to do 1 mailing, you'd be best off doing a mailing 3 times to 300 people than to do once to the whole 1,000 people. You get a lot more results out of it. So these are the things I wanted to go over as to where things are at, and the tools. There's a lot of things that we don't have quite on here, such as, questions that you might ask when you're sitting down with a doctor to figure things out. There's, how to set up a spreadsheet to do a presentation. All these kind of things we have, and we're developing it into tools that everyone could get access to, and it'll also be part of the marketing course that we're putting together. So anyway, if no one has any other questions, I'm going to end off here, and I appreciate everybody coming in and listening. And if anything comes up after this that you thought you forgot, send me an email, or we can cover it in our next meeting.
Hey, I have just one more, Jerry.
Certainly.
I have been looking for, webinars that I've missed. They don't seem to make it on the HODS website right away. Does it take a month or 2 to get them on once we have a webinar?
We've just changed that. For example, the last webinar, the video was on, I think 1 or 2 days later.
Okay.
And let's see, there's a couple of different places you would find this. And I need to, let's see here. Down here, if you look down here, you've got actually the first one here, right here, is where you would find it under clinician corners. Okay, here's all you're going to find. I don't see anything for the marketing area or business aspect of it, but I think it might be under videos. Let me see if that's what we have here. No, these are the separate videos on that go along with approaches to doctors, things of that nature. So I'm going to have to add something in there. So, like, for example, I'm recording tonight, and we're going to have that put in there. But this is it. We're getting it turned around faster and faster now, Jeff.
Okay, but so I lost visual, sir. But just look under webinars on the HODS.us site.
Yes, or you got Clinician Corners. You'll find at the top one on the list under Clinician Corners.
Okay. Yeah, I'm writing that on. Somehow I lost my video here.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry,
Okay.
I did have a question, if you don't mind.
Certainly.
This is Dr. David. I know you and I discussed in our meeting today, and I just wanted to reconfirm the way we're approaching this. So we have done 3 diagnostic musculoskeletal ultrasounds. The billing company and myself and Alexis, my business manager, discussed we would try to start with Medicare first to see how they would reimburse and that kind of thing. I took your advice and we went ahead and used the musculoskeletal ultrasound code instead of the 550 to see, how they would take it, if they would deny it, those types of things. So I'm just kind of, I guess I'm just kind of setting the pins up and seeing how they lay. You think that's a good approach?
I think so. As I had mentioned, and just for other people's edification to see what we discussed here was, while we have said that the taxonomy codes for physical therapists with Medicare do not include MSK, and that's why we recommend using the other code, the 97750.
Yes.
What has happened in Wyoming is that they by accident use the other codes, the 76881 and 82, and they're getting paid for it.
Right.
And they still get paid for it every day. So what I was recommending is take one patient and try it out with the 76881 and see what happens. And if it gets denied, hit it with the denial letter, first level.
Okay.
Go to second level and see what, depending on what they come back with. If they say, I'm sorry, we don't have that code, period, then it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
But if they come up with some reason that, would fit from the letters, then do the first denial letter, do the second, and see where it goes. And if it doesn't, then you always can flip back and do the 97750.
Yes. And see, we get paid on this on 97750. I do a pretty extensive postural study with applications and pictures and things like that. And we've been getting paid on that one with no problem.
Yeah. So, and that's a time base. And I think for an MSK, you might use anywhere from, I'm guessing, maybe 3 to 5 units.
Okay.
It's from the time that you take the equipment out to the time you have written your report.
Okay. Fantastic.
Roughly. Yeah. So that's the approach. You got to try different things. It's, I talked to Vicki, who's Deanie's biller for several years, and she, to this day, is having to try this, try that, see how this works, work with that. Every insurance company, every person in the insurance company seems to get their own opinions in on things.
Yes.
And yeah, so it's not easy. Now,
and the billing company is willing, to work with this as well. They already have somebody in North Carolina that they're billing EMG studies and the diagnostic ultrasound, and they're doing okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I figured, we would take that approach that you advised, and like you said, you just got to kind of see where it all lies and go from there.
Right, that test the waters. The
Yes.
other
Hey,
thing
Jerry.
let me say one other thing.
Yeah.
That Kelly announced answer. One other thing is you want to do, if you're doing a PT, an eval, you want to have the eval and diagnostics ideally on 2 separate days.
Yes.
Yeah, if not, you might use the 59 modifier, so that you're saying that no, this is a separate process for this patient. Same patient, but it's a totally different thing.
So as we're taking on new patients and we're trying to educate our population, I discussed with them that we do the PT eval on day 1. I get some ideas of how to create the plan of care, potentially the diagnosis and what's going on. Then I inform them between visits 2 and 5, we're going to go ahead with the diagnostic ultrasound. And in there as well would be the postural assessment that we do at some point in time. So we try not to schedule those testing days on the same day. And the reason we went the route of visits 2 through 5 is because it came up one day where one of my PTAs, I was coming in to do the diagnostic testing, and we had the postural screen going on and everything else, and I didn't want to be billing out all those tests on one day.
Right, exactly. It's just some thing. Kelly, you had something to say.
Yeah, you said musculoskeletal as being a timed code, and I would have to say MSK 76881 and 76882 are actually not timed codes.
No, I meant for Medicare. It's a time using the.
Yeah,
The other one is, you're correct. The other one is not a time code.
You said MSK, so 97750 that we're using for Medicare is a timed code, but it's not an MSK code.
Right. Yeah.
Correct.
That's
You
the
said
alternate one we
MSK
use.
being timed. That's why I'm just clarifying it.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So
Because
it's definitely a PT
affects
code.
what I'm going to go for on my rate. I mean, if I could do 76881 as a timed code, I could take lesser per unit, but and see how long the test takes. But you're doing by the test, right? So.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you do the left, for example, you do left side and right side, then you would do, you would have the right modifier for 1 unit of 881, and then an LT and a 59 and 1 unit of 881 if you were doing the 881. Does that make sense?
No, that made no sense to me at all.
Let me show you my screen here. Just as an example here. This is what it would normally look like if you did left side and you did right side.
You're talking about for Medicare.
No, this is not Medicare. This is
just modifiers aren't for other modifiers. Really aren't for anybody else but Medicare.
Okay, I have never heard that because this is what we do and it works. The
okay,
59 just designates that it's.
I'm not that savvy then on the billing side. I don't know anything about modifiers for anybody else but Medicare.
Some private insurance require modifier too, just like Medicare, but the modifiers are slightly different than, like 59 and the T and all that.
Okay. It looks like they're just saying right, left. Those are the modifiers that they're using.
Yes, and the 59 just designates that it's a totally separate test. It was a separate procedure. The left side was a separate procedure from the right side.
Now, is 59 a standard modifier, or is that specific?
I'm not sure. I think it's a standard one.
I think it's a standard one.
People.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's a standard one.
Yeah.
I think it's a standard modifier for doing an additional test.
Okay.
You do right.
I must have missed that in the grand scheme of things. Thank you.
Great. A pleasure. Anything else anybody think of that we haven't covered yet that they have their minds?
Well, you just made me think of something, Jerry. So the proposal to the doctors of doing the quick eval and treat plus an MSKS on patients, like we were talking about. I learned from Bart in Idaho. I hadn't considered that there may be a problem billing the eval and treatment on the same day as the MSKUS. You haven't heard anything from them on whether they've had a problem with that, have you?
It can be. However, one could by putting this, like for example, the 59 in there,
Right.
you could have that that separates out that you did a PT service and then you did a diagnostic service.
Right. But we haven't heard specifically from the people that have been doing that, huh?
No, for the most part, we've always said it's best to separate it out for different days.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I'm preparing to make that pitch to a doctor probably tomorrow or the next day, and it's a good pitch. I really like that idea of combining them together. You know, you can really quickly win over that patient and generate some good charges.
Right.
If it works.
You can leave it. Right. The doctor may not have, might be able to handle it differently. Being a doctor for his billing, he may not have the concerns that the physical therapy has. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Certainly. Good enough. Any other questions or things we need to cover? Great.
No, but that was some good discussion. Thank you.
Pleasure. I enjoyed it too. Thank you, everyone, for coming, taking the time off from life, and listening in and participating in it.
Thanks, Jerry.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks, Jerry. Bye.
Good night now.
Night all.
Good night.
Good night.